Section 5. Theological Issues. Suffering and Hardships. The prosperity gospel often neglects the reality of suffering. It teaches that faith should lead to a trouble-free life. This is contrary to the experiences of many biblical figures. Jesus himself said, "In this world you will have trouble. But take heart, I have overcome the world." John 16:33. The Bible is full of stories of faithful individuals who suffered. Job lost everything but remained faithful. Paul faced numerous hardships, including imprisonment and shipwrecks. These stories show that suffering is part of the Christian journey. The prosperity gospel oversimplifies the issue of suffering. It suggests that lack of prosperity indicates lack of faith. This can lead to guilt and shame for believers facing difficulties. They may feel their faith is inadequate or that God is displeased with them. True Christian theology acknowledges the mystery of suffering. It teaches that God is present in our pain. Suffering can lead to spiritual growth and deeper reliance on God. The prosperity gospel's simplistic view fails to address this complex reality.
Section 6. Christ-centered faith versus self-centered faith. The prosperity gospel promotes a self-centered faith. It focuses on what God can do for the individual. This contrasts with the Christ-centered faith taught by Jesus. Jesus called his followers to deny themselves and take up their cross, Matthew 16:24. A Christ-centered faith is about following Jesus' example. It involves sacrifice and service to others. Jesus washed his disciples' feet and urged them to do likewise. He taught that the greatest commandment is to love God and love others, Matthew 22:37-39. The prosperity gospel shifts the focus to personal gain. It encourages believers to seek blessings for themselves. This can lead to a consumer mentality in faith. Believers may approach God with a "what's in it for me" attitude. True faith is about a relationship with God. It is about aligning our will with His. It involves seeking His kingdom and righteousness. A Christ-centered faith transforms lives and impacts others. It is not about personal prosperity, but about living for God's glory. Section 7. Biblical teachings on wealth and poverty. The Bible has much to say about wealth and poverty. It warns about the dangers of riches. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. Paul advises contentment with what we have. Jesus warned about the deceitfulness of wealth. The Bible emphasizes care for the poor. Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord. Jesus' ministry was marked by compassion. He healed the sick and fed the hungry. Wealth comes with responsibilities. Believers are called to help others. Everything we have is from God. Use resources wisely and for His glory. Section 8. The false promises of health and wealth. The prosperity gospel often promises health and wealth. It suggests that faith can guarantee a life free of illness and poverty. This is a misleading and dangerous promise. It sets up false expectations for believers. Many faithful Christians face illness and financial struggles. This does not mean they lack faith. In fact, some of the most faithful individuals have endured great hardships. The prosperity gospel's promises can lead to disappointment and disillusionment. These false promises can also lead to a lack of compassion. If illness or poverty is seen as a result of lack of faith, believers may become judgmental. They may fail to offer support and empathy to those in need. This creates a community that is less caring and more critical. True Christian faith acknowledges the reality of suffering. It offers hope and support in times of trouble. It does not promise a trouble-free life, but the presence of God in all circumstances. This is a more honest and compassionate approach to faith.